Yo, what is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Monday Night Sports Talk here on Jets Media with Ali, Jack, and myself. We're going to give you guys all the latest news that is coming out of the Jets camp. And, there's a lot of things to talk about. It's the offseason. It's a little slow right now. We are leading up to the Super Bowl this Sunday. So we're going to talk about the Super Bowl. We're going to talk about everything that has been surrounding the Jets. The biggest question is, who the hell is going to be our starting quarterback in 2021? I feel like everybody wants to know that question. There's a lot of options on the table, but we're going to get into each and every one of those. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you're enjoying the stream, don't forget to thumbs it up. Let's jump right into the stream. So Ali and Jack, how are you guys doing on this beautiful snowy day? Starting off with you, Ali.
I'm good, man. I'm snowed in. I watched some film today. Tried to stay warm. And again, good to be here. Let's talk some Jets.
Yeah, how about you, Jack? How's your snowy day going so far?
It's all right, man. I'm going to eat dinner after this and head outside and get the snowblower rocking, and I'll probably be out there for a couple hours, and it's going to suck. But we got some Jets to talk, so let's do it.
Yeah, it's been a snowy day. Hope everybody is staying warm because it's pretty hectic out there. What's going on, Finsanity? Welcome to the stream. Hope everything's doing well by you. So, you guys know what the deal is. We're going to go through some topics, and then we're going to close out the stream with the Jets Q&A. Everybody in the chat is going to be asking us some questions. So let's start off with some of the news that's been going around. First of all, let's talk about the crazy trade of Stafford and Goff. As you guys know, Matthew Stafford is being sent to the Los Angeles Rams. Jared Goff is being sent to the Detroit Lions. So the question is, how does the Stafford and Goff trade impact Deshaun Watson's value? Obviously, this is going to impact it because the Detroit Lions gave up 2 first-round picks. The Rams gave up 2 first-round picks, a third, and Jared Goff for Matthew Stafford. I think the big reason why they had to package that many picks is because Jared Goff's contract is so lucrative and so big, so they had to deal it. But I'm curious, what do you think? Do you think this is going to have an impact on the trade of Deshaun Watson? And what do you think the value is right now, at least for Deshaun?
I don't think it's going to be it's not going to impact it a lot. I mean, obviously there's a standard now because of the one trade that happened, but there's a difference between Stafford and Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson is still 25 and Stafford is still elite. He's a good quarterback, and I think he'll be amazing with the Rams, but I just don't think it's going to affect it that much. I think depending on what it happens, I think you're still going to have to give like 3 first-round picks at least. We're probably throwing Quinnen Williams, a second-round pick. There's going to be a lot for Deshaun Watson, but I don't think it really impacts it. I don't think anyone's going to judge Deshaun Watson trade off Stafford trade. You're obviously switching quarterbacks. Obviously, both camps are happy with the quarterback that they have. And the reason they gave up draft picks is because of Goff's contract. So that kind of like X's out a little bit because the Goff contract was absolutely horrendous. So to cover that up, I guess that makes more sense. But I don't really think it's going to impact Deshaun Watson wherever he ends up. If he ends up with the Jets, the Dolphins, the Panthers, whatever it is. I don't think it's going to affect it as much. Obviously, Texans have all the leverage right now. But if Watson starts making some noise, they probably will want to get rid of him. So we'll see what the best offer comes. And I think, honestly, Texans should just get rid of it before it gets worse and worse for that, guys. And the ceiling right now is 3 first-round picks, and it's going to be more than that. So I wouldn't really say that Stafford trade affects it that much.
Yeah, so I think that there's a lot of rumors speculating around. Well, first of all, we heard the report from the Texans general manager himself and their brand new head coach saying, Deshaun Watson's our quarterback. We do not want to trade him. He's our guy. But obviously, Deshaun Watson wants out of there because he officially requested a trade to the public, and it is known that he wants out. And the Houston Texans front office seem like they don't even want to trade him. So it's going to be very interesting. I don't think that he's going to get traded anytime soon because the front office is going to try to get Deshaun Watson to accept to be a Houston Texan because they do not want to trade him away, and I don't blame them. Why would you want to trade away a guy like Deshaun Watson? So this is an interesting take, and this is going to be a big discussion. There's a Texans reporter on Twitter that he said that the value he thinks that, and he's very tied in with Houston. He knows what's going on in the Texans, and this is his speculation, that the Jets might have to give up a defensive player, and that might have to include Quinnen Williams in order to get Deshaun Watson. So, Jack, do you think it's worth it to get Deshaun Watson if we had to give up Quinnen Williams?
I mean, I'll say first about the previous topic. One thing we have to remember is that the Rams picks are probably going to be in like, mid to late 20s, and we have the second overall pick that we're going to be packaging. So like that's a quarterback in itself, the second overall pick. But when it comes to Quinnen Williams, I mean, I love Quinnen, man. Ideally, I would not want to have him go. But if you think about it, the strength of the Jets for a while has been the interior defensive line way before Quinnen Williams even came to town. So, and we've sucked. So I know Quinnen's our guy, but would it be so terrible to give up an interior defensive lineman, which has been a strength of the team, even while the team is bad, lacking quarterback play, to finally get that quarterback? I potentially think it could be worth it. I mean, like I said, it sucks that we're talking about Quinnen because he's such a fan favorite now. We all love him. We all know how he's dedicated to getting better, and I think him and Salah are a match made in heaven. But if you think about the point I made with the strength of our team being the interior defensive line over the past decade or so, even longer than that maybe, while still having crappy quarterback play and being a bad franchise overall, it could be worth it if that's the type of player they want.
Yeah, man, it's so tough because Quinnen Williams, like you said, has become a fan favorite. And I personally rather them not package him for Deshaun Watson because I feel like Quinnen Williams has potential to be one of the best interior defensive linemen in the NFL, especially under Robert Saleh. And that's a very important position in this league. You need to be able to dominate on both sides of the line of scrimmage. And we're trying to revamp our offensive line. Like Jack said, our defensive line has always been a strong suit. And if Quinnen Williams leaves, that he's our star. So we're not going to have a star to build around. But it definitely is a big conversation. Is Quinnen Williams worth to package for a guy like Deshaun Watson? Because in an interior defensive lineman, it's not winning you Super Bowls. A quarterback is. So that's the big discussion. And I don't know, man. I hope if we do get Deshaun, we don't have to package Quinnen. But Ali, what do you think? Do you think that if we do trade for Deshaun Watson, they're going to ask for Quinnen Williams?
I mean, I hope not, but the Jets should try first getting him without packaging Quinnen Williams or mentioning Quinnen Williams because, look, the Texans' defense is trash. It's really, really bad. And with the news of J.J. Watt possibly leaving too, I mean, that defense will get even worse. And they're definitely going to want defensive guys from some type of team. That's when Washington comes in hand because Washington has some crazy D linemen, crazy corners over there. So they could package that into their first round pick or whatever it is. So hopefully it doesn't come down to that. But if it does and they want Quinnen Williams, I would package him because you're getting a 25-year-old quarterback. That's what you're doing. You're getting a quarterback that can win you football games. The Jets' strength is defensive linemen. That's what their strength is on defense. And the way Salah has handled San Francisco's defense when they lost their stars, I think he can do the same thing with the Jets, would bring other guys that no one knows and just put a defense that works. And I think that's what he's known for doing that. And trading Quinnen Williams is a big-time talent. He had a crazy year. We all love him. But if that package is there and Deshaun Watson, and that's like the break deal where you can put Quinnen Williams in and you get Deshaun Watson, you get the deal done because it's Deshaun Watson. The defense will hold. They'll do whatever they can to adjust. And Robert Saleh is known for adjusting the defenses. So, yeah, I would 100% trade him. But I hope we don't.
Yeah, it's such a tough decision because
it's tough, man.
Quinnen has grown to be a fan favorite, and we all want him to stay. We want him to be our defensive stud of the future. But we're talking about Deshaun Watson, like I said. And Deshaun Watson could potentially change the entire future of this Jets organization. We go from a team with a question mark at the quarterback spot. Who the hell is going to start? We don't know. Is it Sam? Is it Zach Wilson? Is it Fields? Is it Watson? Is it anybody? We don't know. It's a big question mark. And I'm hoping this is the last offseason for a long time where we have to worry about that because when we initially drafted Sam Darnold 3 years ago now, I said, okay, I really hope that we don't have to worry about the quarterback spot for a decade. And here we are 3 years later, Sam has regressed. And we are looking to move on. So that carries over into the discussion about there's a report that the Jets have already received calls on Sam Darnold. So that tells you that teams are interested in him around the league. So that means also that Joe Douglas is on the phone and he's negotiating. Oh, you want this? So obviously the front office with the Jets and Robert Saleh, the coaching staff, are discussing what we want to do with the coaching, with the quarterback position. And we're not going to figure out what's going to happen for a long time. But I'm excited to see who our quarterback is. I believe in whoever Joe Douglas thinks is the right guy to lead this franchise for the future, whether that's Sam, whether that's Fields, whether that's Wilson or Watson. So, Jack, what's your thoughts of the Jets fielding phone calls for Sam Darnold, and what do you think Sam's value is?
I mean, I said this all along. I think, as fans, we see it differently, but, head coaches and general managers around the league certainly still see potential in Sam Darnold. You'd be foolish to say otherwise. And I think that we could get a second-round pick for him, for sure. I mean, he's 23 years old. He's got incredible arm talent. He's mobile. That's kind of like a slept-on part of his game as well. I really do think that the system and the head coach and the lack of talent around him was the demise for Sam. I think the New York Jets just failed Sam. I think we all know that. We've been saying it for a long time now. I'm not surprised that we're already getting calls for Sam because, we've been saying this for a long time, that he's a talented guy. He got stuck in a shitty situation. He was thrown to the wolves with no help around him, with freaking Adam Gase as his head coach. I mean, I felt bad for him this year. Obviously, he's not blameless. It was still his third year as a starting quarterback in the league. It shouldn't matter how young he is or whatever. But, man, I really do think that there's still so much potential in Sam Darnold's game. And I think that we could definitely get a second-round pick for Sam to the right team.
Yeah, man, I sure hope so, because if we do move on from Sam, I hope that he can get us at least a second-round pick, and if we're lucky, a first. But I don't think that there's any possibility of us getting a first, just because the quarterback market in this offseason is going to be historic. I don't think there's ever been this many quarterbacks willing to move around the league, and Sam's one of them. So there's going to be a lot of teams out there that rather trade for this guy or draft this guy that get Sam Darnold. But there's definitely going to be some teams that fall in love with Sam Darnold and say, he is a product of disaster Jets organization, no coaching staff, nothing around him. They did not develop him properly. And there's going to be a franchise that looks at Sam and they're going to think, like, I can turn this kid into a franchise quarterback. He was drafted third overall for a reason. And I think the biggest knock on Sam and the reason why he was not successful is simply because he was not able to scan the field, make his reads. He made boneheaded decisions. And I feel like that's to do with the big system of Adam Gase. He did not put Sam Darnold in the right position, in the right situation to succeed. I'm not putting this all on Gase. Obviously, Sam Darnold, like Jack mentioned, there's definitely some blame towards him because he missed some throws. He missed some wide open people. He tucked it when he should have did. He took a sack. He didn't have pocket presence. I just feel like his mind was not comfortable all throughout the year. I feel like there's going to be a team that looks at Sam, and I feel like there's going to be two teams that's going to get in a bidding war. And you never know. Joe Douglas could pull off a really good trade for Sam Darnold, and we'll be really happy because there's a lot of holes on this team. And if we're moving out from Sam and we're drafting a quarterback at 2, or we pulled off a trade from Deshaun, we need as many draft capital as possible. So, Ali, what's your thoughts of the Jets receiving phone calls on Sam Darnold, and what do you think his value is at?
I expected it. I really did. And the Jets won't finalize anything until they know what quarterback they want officially. I mean, they're going to first probably see what the hell is going on with Deshaun Watson. That should be plan A. Plan B is probably see if anyone's worth it in the draft and then see if they really like Sam Darnold or not. I mean, I truly believe that this 49ers scheme, the Shanahan scheme that's coming to New York, would have fixed Sam Darnold. And I really, truly believe that if he went to San Francisco, he would be fixed. And I truly believe that he would be good. I don't know where he'll end up, Indy or whatever, or the Jets quarterback. But the Jets could get a day 2 pick out of him. And obviously, if they go after Deshaun Watson, they trade their first-round picks, the Jets are going to need as many picks as possible they can get, especially in the second round, to build around Deshaun Watson, get wideouts, get linemen. So it's tough. It's tough to see Sam Darnold go. It really does. I can't believe we're at this stage where we got to decide if Sam Darnold's our quarterback or not, because I honestly felt he could be the franchise quarterback for the last 10 years, for the next 10 years at least. And he's still so young. I mean, he's still like not even as old as Joe Burrow. I mean, Joe Burrow came 2 years later, and that it's just tough to see that. And he still has all the talent in the world. I think his mechanics are still off. I mean, he took a big step back because I don't really blame Adam Gase for what happened to him, because Joe Flacco came in the game and he was chucking around in the same offense. And
I think we lost Ali a little bit. You're lagging, Ali.
I think he might be. He'll be back in a few seconds, probably.
Yeah, he's frozen. So let's move on to another topic.
I was just gonna say another thing. Another thing that people have to remember too with the Darnold situation is the whole the contract. Ali's back. Sorry, brother. But quickly, I just want to say that like resetting the rookie contract and drafting a quarterback with a new head coach. It's a very tempting thing as well that doesn't come around that often. So it's just another thing to think about that just adds to how shitty the Sam Darnold situation is. Obviously, we all wish it was different, but it just sucks, man. I mean, Ali said everything that I really had to say. So you're back if you wanted to continue your point real quick.
No, I was just saying it sucks. It just simply sucks.
It's terrible, man.
And
it's terrible.
All three of us were Sam Darnold believers. We really thought that this was going to be the year where he could break out and prove to be the franchise guy. And he really just took the biggest step back, was one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL, threw more interceptions than touchdowns, and there's really no sugarcoating it. He looked like a terrible quarterback out there. And there were times where he showed a little glimpse of talent, and you're like, why can't you do that all the time, bro? Like, that is a play. Like, for example, the touchdown he had against the Indianapolis Colts, when he stepped up in the pocket, avoided the pressure, juked somebody out, rolled to his right, found Braxton Berrios in the for a touchdown. And you're like, wow, like that is a next level quarterback play. And you're just like, why can't he do that all the time? It seems like Sam Darnold never had a good play when it was called for him from Adam Gase. The only time you saw Sam Darnold's talent was when it was a broken down play and it was backyard football and he can show you what he can do on his own when there's nothing scripted. It's off script and the wide receivers have to improvise. That's when Sam Darnold becomes great, is improvisation. That crazy 50-yard run on Thursday Night Football against the Broncos, he steps up in the pocket, he avoids a pressure, and then he runs for a first down, jukes somebody out, fakes a slide, and runs for 50 yards. I mean, Sam Darnold has the improvisation talent within him, and I feel like when you get a system around him and weapons around him, he's going to be good, and I feel like there's going to be a franchise out there that will see that in Sam. Do you guys feel like there's any chance that the Jets actually decide to keep Sam Darnold and they want to trade the second overall pick to build around him? Do you think there's any chance? I know, in my opinion, before I let you guys answer that, is it just doesn't feel like it. All the answers from Robert Saleh, all the coaching staff, it feels like they're not committed to him, and I don't feel like they're going to, and I just genuinely don't feel like Sam will be the guy next year. But do you think there's any chance? And if, say, hypothetically, right, there's three options for the quarterback: keeping Sam Darnold, drafting a quarterback at 2, or trading for Deshaun Watson. So we're going to go over all three and what we should do. So let's start off with Sam Darnold. Jack, if we do keep Sam, what do we do with the second pick?
I think we trade it back, man. I mean, we finally have the opportunity that we've been looking for to like capitalize off of how historically bad we've been. We have so many draft picks. We have so much cap space. Like, here we are with real opportunities to grow this roster and build depth, to build a competitive team for the future, not just for next year, but for the next 10 years, So, I mean, it's just like, here we are in a situation that none of us thought we would be in with Deshaun Watson talks. And we all thought that we were going to have Trevor Lawrence locked up with the first pick. So here we are in this crazy situation. I mean, I think it's totally, I agree with you, Rich, although it makes me upset. I feel like the vibe I've gotten as well is that Sam Darnold will not be here next year. But, I think if for some reason he is here next year, and I would support it, because I know that you guys are in the mindset that I'm in, where we want to support what Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh think is best for the team. So I would support it if they wanted to roll with Sam as their quarterback, because I do think it's a good opportunity to trade the pick back and acquire more assets to build this team how Joe Douglas wants to do it.
Yeah, man, it's right there. I mean, I feel like either way, it's like really good scenarios with keeping Sam, trading back, building around him, drafting a quarterback at 2. We get a guy in a rookie contract, and we trade Sam for picks, or we trade for a superstar quarterback in Deshaun Watson. So let's move on to quickly. I want to talk about the Jets called the Lions about Matthew Stafford. So that was another thing that kind of showed me that, okay, the Jets are definitely in the quarterback market. If they wanted to keep Sam Darnold and they had their mindsets up on that, then I don't think they would have called the Lions. So, Ali, what's your take on the Jets doing their due diligence with the Detroit Lions calling for Matthew Stafford?
It's just Joe Douglas doing his job. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, that's I think Ian Rappaport and Rich Cimini said he did it at the very, very end. He probably just wanted to see what the offer is. He just wanted to test the waters, see what his options are. I feel like that's what a good GM does. Tries to put himself in every situation and try to figure out what's best for him. So he was pretty much trying to, I feel like he never wanted Stafford. I feel like I don't think it would be a good fit, especially with this where this team is going right now. I don't think Stafford would be the guy for us. But I think he just wanted to figure it out. I think he just wanted to know what's the market, what's the offer, how much are you going to give? Like, is there 2 first round picks or is it 3 first round picks? And I think that's what he's just trying to do. I think he's just trying to do his due diligence and just try to figure out what's the market. And obviously, like you said earlier, this is going to be a QB completely controversy everywhere. It's going to be teams fighting for quarterbacks this year in the draft, in free agency, through trade, all this stuff. So I think he's just doing a due diligence as a good GM would do. And, I wouldn't take too much out of it.
Yeah, I think you're right. And what this told me is it kind of tells you that the Jets are most likely moving on from Sam Darnold. That's where I took from it. I was like, okay, that if they were set on Sam, I don't think they even would have considered calling the Detroit Lions. But Joe, being Joe Douglas, he's smart. He needs to be involved in every single trade scenario possible. And maybe that means that he's 100% calling the Houston Texans and he really wants, because if he wants Matthew Stafford, that means he really, really wants Deshaun Watson. And I'm pretty sure we all would like that to happen. Am I right? So we're almost halfway through the show. If you guys could please smash that like button. If you guys did not already, if you guys are enjoying Monday Night Sports Talk with Ali, Jack, and myself, that would be greatly appreciated. And also, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more Jets media content. We go live once a week on Monday night, and I'm going to go live throughout the week as well. But yeah, let's just keep going. So let's talk about something non-Jets related real quick before we open up to let's talk about what to do with this. We'll do this first, and then we'll get into the Super Bowl preview. So the Jets have 2 first-round picks. I feel like we don't know what the hell they're going to do with it because we don't know who the hell's our quarterback is. Like we keep saying over and over again in the stream, I feel like it's determined. If we keep Sam, then it'll be different what we do with the first-round picks. If we draft a quarterback, obviously we're using one of those picks on a quarterback. If we're getting Deshaun Watson, then we won't even have 2 first-round picks. So it's hard to even discuss. There's a lot of YouTubers out there that are like, Vikings YouTubers. Like a lot of people around the YouTube community keep reaching out to me and they're saying, hey, we're doing a mock draft and we would love for you to get on our show and tell us who you think the Jets are going to get in the first round. And I'm kind of avoiding it because I'm like, I don't know what to say. Like, I don't know who the Jets are going to get. Like, this is the only time that I don't feel confident in a mock draft because the quarterback position is so up in the air. Like, do I draft Zach Wilson at 2? But what if we trade that pick for Deshaun? Do I draft Justin Fields at 2? Like, it's just so crazy what's going to happen. And obviously asking you guys what we're going to do about this first-round pick, we don't even know. So What does your gut tell you, Jack? What does your gut tell you? Our 2 first-round picks this year, what do you think is going to happen with these?
I mean, we don't have a huge sample size from our general manager. We only have seen him draft once. But from what I've seen from Joe Douglas over his tenure as a general manager, I mean, it's tough, man. Speculation like this is tough once again because we don't know who our quarterback is going to be. But I can totally picture Joe Douglas trading the second pick back. Like I really can. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like maybe the idea of Darnold is just too fresh in my head now. It's just so hard to talk about, man, because we have no idea what's going to happen at the quarterback position. And if we bring in Watson, that number 2 pick is gone. Are we going to draft a quarterback? We don't know. So like it's so hard to say. I mean, my gut tells me that I don't know. I don't know what my gut tells me, man. It's like, can you guys answer this question? Like, I have no idea. Like, anybody in the chat? Like, it's more like, is it what I want to happen, or what do I think the Jets are going to do? Because
what do you think he's going to do?
I don't know. Like, there's no, we have no idea. Like, it's way too up in the air, man. I mean, we have no idea.
What my gut tells me is they're going to be really heavy on the Watson discussions, and at the end of the day, the Houston is going to ask for way too much, and Douglas is going to be like, you know what? Deshaun Watson's a great quarterback, and I'm going to hold on to my picks, and I'm going to draft my own quarterback at number 2, and I'm going to trade Sam Darnold. That's my gut feeling. What's yours, Ali?
So I'll go through the 3 options. That's what I'm thinking. So if the Jets somehow keep Sam Darnold, I think they take Sewell with number 2. I know he's a left tackle, and people in college, that's what it was. But he was a top guard in high school. That's what he was recruited for. He was a top guard, and that would not influence. Most likely, if they drafted him, Mekhi Becton will keep that left tackle position.
Do you think, real quick to cut you off, do you think they should trade back and target Sewell? Because in mock drafts, I've seen him go like 10, 11 sometimes. Do you think he's worth the 2nd overall pick?
I mean, I feel like Miami would grab him right away. If they're sticking with Tua, I mean,
I would also say that definitely you got to watch out for Cincinnati at 5, grabbing him for sure, because they already have their quarterback and they need offensive line help for sure.
Yeah, so like that, if Sewell's available and they obviously are going to stick with Darnold, that's their best bet on getting an offensive lineman. Try to protect him, see what happens. The second option, it obviously is quarterback. Either Justin Fields or Wilson. And actually today I I was on a rant today on Twitter, and I actually put Fields over Wilson after watching 2 weeks of film, analyzing everything. I just think Fields has the higher ceiling. I really do. And the thing with him is he has arm strength, he has durability, he has that grit, he has an arm strength, he can run, he can make passes on the run. He's a playmaker, and look, Fields is a guy that I feel like it's a Salah type player. I mean, he's a guy that's ready to do whatever it takes to win. I like Wilson; he fits a scheme, whatever it is, but Fields just has a high ceiling, man. It's amazing, and a lot of the Fields interceptions that you see. So Ohio State runs this offense where there's wideouts go full out. They just keep going straight. They're what are they called? I have a note right here. The wide receiver read routes. So they pretty much are going down, and Fields doesn't know for like 15 yards until what they're gonna do. Like, are they gonna come closer or are they gonna go out? He has no idea. And a lot of those interceptions where he's looking at that one receiver, he just chucks it because he doesn't know what the hell to do. I mean, he has absolutely no idea, and that whole Ohio State has a lot to do with that. So, I mean, a lot of those interceptions are those long balls where he doesn't know exactly where the wideouts are. And I think people have thrown that a little bit overboard of his interception problem or looking at the one read or whatever it is. I don't think that's true. I think it's overblown. And Fields just has that talent, man. I really do think that. I don't think we're going to be completely wrong with Wilson, but Justin Fields has that a type of mentality. And the coaching staff that's coming in could thrive around him. Wilson's obviously a better fit, but Fields' weaknesses could be easily completed with this coaching staff, this offensive coordinator. Obviously, I'll be writing an article which explains it much better. But yeah, that's what I feel. I think Fields is the better fit in this position. And then obviously, if the Jets don't have or if they get Deshaun Watson, the Jets probably won't have any first round picks this year. So that's the third option. So there's that. I think Fields is the guy over Wilson as of now.
Thank you so much, V-Man, for the $5 donation. Always appreciate your support, my man. Sewell doesn't fit the Shanahan offense, and neither does Justin Fields. Also, Joe Flacco outperformed Darnold in the same offense. You're right, V-Man. You're on point. Always appreciate your takes. One thing I will say about the drafting of the quarterback is if we do, whether it's Zach Wilson or Justin Fields, I have PTSD, so I am not getting overexcited to have a young quarterback again. I'm not going to be like, we got our franchise guy. We got our guy for the future, because that's exactly what I did with Sam, and I was set up for failure for 3 years later. I'm going to go in the mindset of course, I'm going to be supporting every single second and rooting for him and telling everybody why he's going to be great. But I'm going to take a step back and say, I really need this guy, whether it's Zach Wilson or Justin Fields, to go on the field and prove it to me personally before I can crown him as the franchise quarterback. And I feel like that's how every Jets fan mindset's going to be, just because we went through the whole Sam Darnold thing. And the year before we drafted him, everyone's like, suck for Sam, tank for Sam Darnold. Like, everybody wanted the Jets to lose to draft Sam. We ended up getting him, and then he turns out to be where he is today, and we're moving on from him potentially. So, I am so in the middle of Zach Wilson or Justin Fields. It's just going to be a matter of fact of who fits the scheme better and who does the coaching staff and the front office feel like will be a franchise quarterback. I also feel like a character guy is a way more big of a deal than we can really put into consideration. With Joe Douglas and especially Robert Saleh, they want to build a culture. They want to build a really healthy environment in the locker room. And I heard that there's concerns with Zach Wilson's character. I heard he's a little cocky, but then again, you can't read too much into that because you don't know. You talk to the BYU teammates of Zach Wilson, they will, negate any of those reports. And it's going to be a very interesting process this offseason going into the draft, because there's no draft combine. And that's really unfortunate, because that's really where you get to see how they can perform under the bright lights, how their athleticism is, where do they run. And I love the draft combine. It's going to suck to not have it, but it's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be interesting. Zach Wilson or Justin Fields or Deshaun Watson. I choose Deshaun Watson. I don't know about you guys.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. Let's see. All right. Before we open up to a Jets Q&A, let's talk about the Super Bowl real quick, because, Super Bowl is coming up. What do you guys got in the Super Bowl? Jack, we'll start off with you.
I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a shootout for sure. But I'm pulling for the Chiefs, baby, 100%. I mean, we all got to be pulling for the Chiefs. I respect Brady's game. He's the GOAT. It's really incredible to watch him play. He does. Nobody else will ever come close to his accolades. I mean, he's the GOAT for sure. But he's also been a jet killer for the last 20 years. So screw him. Pat Mahomes is awesome. Travis Kelce was my guy all year in fantasy. So, yeah, man. Chiefs Kingdom, for sure.
Chiefs Kingdom. I got someone saying, do these guys ever look at the chat? Yo, Todd, yes, we do look at the chat. We like to start off the first half of the show. We try to go over some topics, and then we're going to open this up to a Jets Q&A right after our Super Bowl picks. So you guys get ready in the chat. We're going to answer all Jets-related or any NFL type of questions. So right after we give our Super Bowl takes, we're going to open this up to a Jets Q&A. Ali, what do you got in the Super Bowl?
I'm going with the Chiefs, but again, when I counted out, I wanted Rodgers, and then Tom Brady came out of nowhere and beat him. So Tom Brady is just that guy. Tom Brady is that guy, but I'm rooting for Todd Bowles and Steve McClendon, especially on Tampa, because I love Todd Bowles. I mean, I know he wasn't a good head coach, but I love that guy. His defense was amazing, and I'm finally seeing him succeed, and he's in the Super Bowl. So I'm rooting for him, but I think it's going to be Chiefs, because Patrick Mahomes is nuts. I mean, he's out of this world. I don't know who in that defense is going to keep track with Tyreek Hill. I have absolutely no idea. So I think it's going to be 34-28 game Chiefs.
All right, and we also got our boy Todd Bowles, Casey Rogers over there with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's hard not to root for them, but I'm going with the Chiefs. I don't really want Tom Brady to win a 7th ring. That's pretty simple. Good on Tom Brady, but I don't really hate Tom Brady as much as I used to, just because he's not with the Patriots, and he proved that Bill Belichick wasn't the only reason why. It was Tom Brady. And I'm rooting for Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs just because, like I said. But at the same time, I would love to see Todd Bowles win a ring because he's a great dude. He deserves it. But we'll see. All right, guys, let's open this up to a Jets Q&A. Anybody in the chat have any questions, shoot them our way. Super chats are priority because it pops up right away. I don't know if we're going to be able to get to every single question, but If you guys have any questions, shoot them our way. Jeremy, Jets have most passionate fans. Yes, we do. We are the most passionate fans in the entire world. You know, we got to give credit to. There's a lot of passionate fans, but we've been through a lot of suffering, so I can't wait. Fields is not that much better than Darnold. Darnold has more experience. What do you guys think? What do you think, Jack?
I mean, yeah, he certainly has more experience. It's really up to what Saleh and Joe Douglas want to do, man. I mean, I said this earlier, but I know we all feel the same way. We're just going to support what they think is best for the team at this point. We're tired of suffering. We finally have two guys in the building that the entire fan base feels like they can trust in Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh. So, you know, whatever they decide to do at quarterback, I will get behind. That being said, I really would not be upset if Sam was the guy next year. I would love to see what Sam could do in a Shanahan offense. You know, I think it would be money personally, but it doesn't seem to be going that direction. That's the vibe that all three of us have been getting from all the interviews that we've seen and been listening to and stuff like that. But, you know, I wouldn't be upset. Hope that answers your question.
Yeah, of course. Yo, Ali, what do you think about Kadarius to the Jets? Do you think they should target him?
I haven't really read up on him a lot. How is he?
I mean, he's a solid receiver. He's like a guy that's supposed to be an excellent route runner.
What was his? I mean,
how early would it be?
23, I think they would target him, or 34.
He had a pretty good Senior Bowl, so I mean, he is a guy that I could target, but I just don't. I personally I don't want a running back at 23. I really, really don't. A lot of mock drafts have us getting a running back. If we can get him at 23 as a wideout, I wouldn't be too upset about it. I think he has a talent. He has good route running. He has a tenacious of getting the ball. And I think he could fit really well no matter who's the quarterback.
Yeah, I think that the 23rd overall pick needs to be either cornerback, edge rusher, or offensive line, in my opinion. Interior offensive line in particular. But we'll see. Any other questions? Taking Wyatt Davis at pick 34. I would hope so. I know that he got injured, so that might make him fall in the draft a little bit. I would love to get him at 34. We need interior offensive linemen desperately, and I feel like he is a very good guy. I feel like we need to, if we draft, say, I guess in this perspective, we're drafting a guy at 2 at the quarterback position, Fields or Wilson. Then 23, we should draft either a corner or an edge rusher, and then I'm down to get Wyatt Davis 34 and then get a receiver, because we got Denzel Mims in the second round. He's solid. You can get really good quality receivers later in the draft, 3rd, 4th round. Same with running back. We have 2 third-round picks. So you draft 2. I don't know, man. We're going to get really deep into the mock drafts. I still got to do a lot of research on the later rounds. I'm not that educated on them yet. I know a bunch of draft prospects, but I'm not totally indulged. I don't really watch college football throughout the year. I only get into college football after the year's over, just for the NFL draft. But we'll see. I know that there's a crazy tight end, Pitts, that people really want, because the Shanahan offense, George Kittle is a stud in that offense, and we really want to get that tight end. But we'll see. What
do you think about trading Sam for Jimmy Garoppolo?
Hey, Green Bean's in here. What up, Green Bean? Is that Green Bean?
Yeah, Green Bean.
What up, Green Bean? How you doing, man? Hope everything's well.
I love that guy.
Nice background, dudes. Thanks, bro.
Green Bean, man.
You're avoiding this weather. Are you still down in Florida? Because it's a nightmare over here. Let's see.
Green Bean.
What's up, fellas? Hope everything's doing well by you, man. People saying Darnold is washed, don't know football. John, thank you so much for the donation, and I agree with you, man. What do you say about that, Jack?
I mean, you guys know how I feel about that. He's certainly we don't know if his future is going to be on the Jets, but he's certainly not washed, man. Anybody that says he's washed is just foolish. We're already getting calls about the guy, so you know, teams want him for sure.
He's regressed, obviously, but he's not washed.
No chance.
Put him on a good team, and what would you guys like? What do you think the Jets fan base would do? And obviously, I know this is not happening. It's very unlikely. But what if we trade Sam to an NFC team? We go to the Super Bowl and Sam Darnold's waiting for us, and Sam beats us in the Super Bowl. How funny would that be? I would be like, yeah, no. I was kidding. I would
cry my eyes out, and you'd find me wrapped up in the fetal position.
I think I might stop watching football. I might just stop. I'm gonna find a new career. Like that would be the end of me because I'll
delusional Jets fan. I'd give Darnold one more year if we can't get Watson. All right, delusional Jets fan. I remember you're a big Sam Darnold hater, so
we'd still have opportunities. Come around. We'd still have opportunities to address the quarterback situation next year, like for sure. So like totally, man. I mean, it sucks.
LaFleur gonna fix Sam. I hope it's Mikey that does it. Yeah, man. We'll see. I don't know. It feels like there's some Jets fans that are definitely open to the idea of keeping Sam around, but then we have to really consider the financial perspective of things. If you move on from Sam Darnold, you get a rookie contract at quarterback, and it's very cheap. If you keep Sam Darnold, you got to pick up his fifth-year option, and he's going to be $25 million quarterback. He's not that good enough to be, or at least he did not play well enough the last 3 years in order to get paid that much. So I don't know. It's going to be tough. I don't really think that it's going to happen, but we will see. If you guys are new to the stream, make sure you smash that like button. We have 150 people watching and only 39 likes. So if you guys are enjoying this, make sure you run up the thumbs up button so we get as many Jets fans in here to ask any questions about the New York Jets. So again, make sure you thumbs up the stream. Would appreciate that. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. Let's see. What pieces would you add to improve Darnold if he stays? I think the pieces we need to add is definitely interior offensive line help. I feel like we need to protect Sam Darnold by any means. I think that the offensive line protecting Sam is more important than the weapons around him, just because the system in place is known to be getting receivers wide open, whether you're a backup receiver or you're a stud receiver. Obviously, we want stud receivers. I'm not saying don't get playmakers, but the priority should be beef up the interior offensive line, get somebody right next to Mekhi Becton that can be a stud like Joe Thuney, or draft somebody that can be the franchise left guard. We need a really good right guard. I feel like Connor McGovern is going to be our center next year, and we have George Fant still. So we need to beef up the interior offensive line, and also we need to get a stud running back. I feel like we need to find a diamond in the rough running back in the later rounds, or we can go in the veteran route and get someone free agency, whether that's Jamal Williams, whether that is Phillip Lindsay. I feel like if Sam can get a really good running attack offense, that's going to set him up, because then teams are going to be biting on the play action. It's going to get Sam on the run. It's going to get the wide receivers downfield and open, because the misdirections, the motions, the thing of I just can't wait to see this offense. Jack, what do you think? You agree with what I'm saying? Do you have anything to add on the pieces?
I totally agree. I mean, I feel like, when you talk about the running game, I think that, when you watch the 49ers, they execute the run game how we should have been doing it. They do most of their runs I feel like they run very little between the tackles and the guards. Most of their running is off tackle or a toss way to the outside or something like that. And we need to be doing that, and we need to be doing that behind Mekhi Becton. And the running game is a quarterback's best friend. Especially in this scheme that's going to be coming in. We all know it's going to be a West Coast Shanahan style offense. Obviously, we know that Mike LaFleur is going to put his own spin on things, but we know what to expect kind of already from the style offense that's coming in. It's going to be a lot of rolling out. It's going to be a lot of play action, a lot of bootlegs, a lot of throws on the run, which Sam is like. I feel like Sam is strongest when he's throwing on the run. I feel like he's extremely confident when he's throwing on the move, and he can deliver the dart. So you know what? I totally agree with you mentioning the running game. I think that if hypothetically Darnold was to stay next year, Saleh talks about marrying the run with the pass. That's going to be huge for his success next year if he does end up being the quarterback. And to your point with a free agent like Jamal Williams or Phillip Lindsay, something like that, I would like that. I don't think we need to break the bank at running back or draft a running back too high. Although I know a lot of people like ATN, I know a lot of people like Harris. But, if you look at San Francisco, they just have like a solid rotation of 2 or 3 decent guys. And there's not really one standout star there. It's just a decent rotation of bodies that can come in the game and execute and know what they're doing. So I feel like if they can implement that, we already have P. Ryan and Ty Johnson, who I think show plenty of potential to work into that rotation already. So if we added a Phillip Lindsay or a Jamal Williams, something like that, I honestly think we'd be fine in the scheme that it looks like we're going to end up running.
Yeah, I'm excited. That gets me excited. I just want to watch this running attack. I just want to see Ty Johnson get up because, Ty Johnson, for example, he is a guy that can remember the first play of the game against the 49ers. Who took that? Was that Wilson? Was that McKinnon? I don't even know. 80-yard touchdown. Who was that? It was Mostert. Oh, my God. It was so terrible. I feel like Ty Johnson has the speed, and so does P. Ryan. P. Ryan has low-key speed. If you look up his Florida highlights, he has very underrated burst. And if you get the open field, they're gone. So I'm getting antsy. I want football. We have a long time until that can happen. Long time. Team captains for next year. This is a good one. Well, I think there's a lot of determines on who's here. If Marcus May is still legit, he will be here, and he will be a captain. I think whoever the quarterback is going to be is most likely to be a captain. Are they going to give C.J. Mosley that captain badge again? I feel like he deserves it just because he's the quarterback of the defense. But then again, does he deserve it because he doesn't play? On offense, I'm down for Mekhi to get that badge.
Quinnen Williams was very vocal. He said that in an interview after the season that he wants to really step up more as like a vocal leader next year.
Down.
So I could definitely see Quinnen Williams getting a captain patch.
I'm down. It's speculation, man. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like we'll see.
And it doesn't really matter either. Like it's cool,
Mosley gonna go crazy.
Tyus Farley's got one.
I hope.
Ali, what do you think? What are the odds that Mosley comes back and gets back to his dominant self?
It's TBD. I mean, we don't know. We have absolutely no idea what shape he's in. We have absolutely no idea how he's going to be looking out there. But obviously, yeah, I think so. I think he'll be a good asset, and maybe he wants to play football now. And with Robert Saleh being their defensive guy, I think he'll find a way to put him in. And hopefully, there's a chance he gets back to his what we saw him against Buffalo, where that pick six happened, then he got a fumble recovery, and we were like, oh man, we finally found a Pro Bowl guy on our defense. And then after that, he was injured. And then that's when
only we can hope.
That's when the season went down the drain. So hopefully, I mean, the Mosley contract is a little bit rough, so we'll see how that plays out, and hopefully he plays to the standards of his contract.
Hopefully, bro, because we gave him a ridiculous contract. Green Bean brings up the question of the night. We went over this early on in the stream already.
Can I quickly give my spiel on that to Green Bean?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm curious what you think, Green Bean. So over the last decade at least, we've had a solid interior defensive line, and we've struggled at the quarterback position, and we've been a losing football team. So Quinnen's a fan favorite. I love him. I don't want him to go, but if that's what it takes to finally fix our quarterback problem, because we've been dominant on the defensive line and still been a shit team. So if we can finally just lose one guy on the defensive line, yes, he would have been our star. But if we were to just lose that one guy to finally essentially fix our quarterback problem, I would be okay with that, honestly. I would be okay with that. I don't want it to happen, but if what's his name, Caserio says that's the only way to make it happen, then I would hope that Joe Douglas would pull the trigger on that, as long as we're not giving up like an absurd amount of draft capital along with Quinnen Williams, because that number 2 overall pick holds a lot of weight. But yeah. But
then I think about like Robert Saleh and Quinnen Williams.
I know.
Like Aaron Donald.
That's why I'm saying. That's why I'm saying. Like, only if Caserio says like it has to be Quinnen Williams or no deal, then like
you can't.
Then okay.
You can't fall in love with the defensive tackle like that. I mean, you can't really, especially if a franchise quarterback is on the line. I mean, that's what's being crazy. If you're not gonna be willing to trade away your defensive tackle for a franchise quarterback for the next 10 years, you need to think straight, because that's not what the organization's thinking. Organization's thinking, oh, we got a quarterback now. We got a quarterback that can win football games. And the Jets defensive lineman is probably our best position right now. That's what it is. That's That's correct. So, yeah, Quinnen Williams, I love him. I love when he talks. I love his interviews. I love the memes. I love how he plays on the field. But if that's a last straw, what Washington Texans want, they want him, and we get Deshaun Watson in that, it's done deal. I'll give him a heartbeat.
Man, this is crazy, guys. Who
It
knows?
sucks. Thank you though, Green Bean. Green Bean agrees with me and Ali.
Here's what he has to say. I agree with Jack 100%. I love him, want to keep him, but if they want Q and that gets the deal done, I'm doing it.
It's a quarterback. Ali said it best. It's a quarterback versus a defensive tackle. Like Richie, you said it before as well. A defensive tackle is not going to go out and win you a Super Bowl, but a quarterback will do that. And we've been struggling at the quarterback position for as long as I can remember. So you get it done if that's what it takes.
Yeah, and then that's going to open up a hole, and that's also going to make us in the market for an interior defensive lineman in the draft. If that is the case, then I feel like one of our first – if we do trade Deshaun and we trade Quinnen, who knows how much draft picks we give up. I think the 2 overall pick is going to be involved. Maybe the 23 can be ours. I think if we trade Quinnen, we need to draft a defensive tackle to replace him right away. I know that we have Jonathan Franklin-Myers and Foley Fatukasi already, but we need to have a heavy rotation because the Joe Douglas and Saleh, they both say they value the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, defense and offense. So if that's the case, we move on from Quinnen, we need to bring in a guy to replace him to be alongside of Foley and Jonathan Franklin-Myers. We also need to get an edge rusher because if in today's day and age of the NFL where it's headed, it's an offensive league, and the only way you can slow down an offense in this league is getting to the quarterback. We do not have an edge rusher. If we're giving up Quinnen Williams, we do not have any interior pass rush anymore because he led the team in sacks with 7 as a defensive tackle. That tells you how great he is. I feel like our defense is going to become not that great with Quinnen gone, but at the same time, we're going to have a guy in Robert Saleh and Jeff Ulbrich calling the plays where I believe in the next man up mentality. And I feel like that, like Ali mentioned this earlier, Robert Saleh had so many injuries across the San Francisco 49ers this year, all across the defensive line, all across the entire team, and their defense still finished 5th. So Saleh gets the best out of no-name guys. So if it comes down to Quinnen Williams to get Deshaun or not, you got to pull the trigger. And it upsets me because I love Quinnen to death, and I feel like he has so much potential in this league. But like I said, defensive tackles don't win you Super Bowls. Quarterbacks do. If it was about Quinnen Williams getting traded at the deadline for draft picks, I would say absolutely not. Quinnen's the future. But this is a very, very, very rare scenario that we're in. A guy like Deshaun Watson to hit the open market like this, the trade market rather, doesn't happen. It doesn't happen, guys. This is the first time it's ever going to happen and in a long time, and the Jets need to be calling him. But is it going to take 2 first-rounders and Quinnen Williams to get the job done? I don't know. Right now, as we speak, the Houston Texans are reluctant to trade him. So it's crazy. It's crazy. It's going to be nuts.
I mean, the Jets' defense has always been decent. It's always been good, or for the last maybe 15 years, the defense always does their job. And they're not always at the bottom of the league. The Jets' offense has sometimes have been bottom of the league. We were on the worst team on offense this past year. The Jets need to upgrade whatever they can on offensive side. That's what it is. I know Salah's a defensive guy. I know Salah's going to like Quinnen Williams. But Salah's coaching a football team now. He's not just coaching the defense anymore. He's got to think about the entire team. And he's not even calling defensive plays this year. So to see that and put that all in perspective, Jets have a defensive coach, obviously. But now Jets have a guy that Salah's coming in to be a CEO type guy and lead the football team. To lead a football team, you need a quarterback to win games. And if they and I truly believe that, I mean, it's a done deal. It's a done deal. Trade Quinnen, get him. That's all you can say.
Yeah, you're right, man. You're right. This is going to be a really crazy offseason, guys, and it's getting underway. Right after the Super Bowl, expect more trades to happen. Expect the Jets to be heavily involved. And then what is it? It's going to be 1 month until free agency opens up. There's going to be so much things that happens. We have so much cap space. We have so many things that we can do. And I just want to see what we're gonna do. I'm so over this hypothetical nonsense. Whoa.
Yeah, I
let's
wish
see
we could just talk about. I wish we could just give our opinions on what they did already. Because like all this hypothetical talk just makes your mind go effing nuts, man. And it's just
facts.
it's too much for us, man. We're Jets fans. We're fragile beings, like we take this shit personally. It's crazy, man.
I know. Jets hired the right coach. Good things coming for Jets fans. Yeah, let's just take a little moment of silence real quick and be very appreciative. It was also Coach Salah's birthday yesterday. So happy birthday to our guy. Look at how handsome he is right there in the bottom right corner, sitting there with his Jets helmet. And
he's been on the screen the whole time.
He's been on the screen. His energy is sitting there. He's been on the screen chilling with us three. He's been chilling with all you guys. And I am just so excited that he's our guy because I wanted him so bad. And we got him. Like, let's just take a moment and appreciate that Robert Saleh is the head coach for the Jets.
Let's take a moment and think about the fact that currently the Jets are not the biggest dumpster fire in the NFL anymore. What the hell did the Houston Texans do? How did they get to this place that they're in? Like you have your quarterback already. You have an MVP caliber quarterback, and you trade DeAndre Hopkins for David Johnson. I don't know where they went wrong, man. So let's one up for Saleh, one up for the Houston Texans taking our place as the most chaotic organization in football, at least for now. Yeah, man, it's you're feeling good these days if you're a Jets fan. We got a lot of options. We don't know what the hell's gonna ultimately happen, but the options right now are limitless.
Yeah, you're right. So we got people saying Fields may end up being the best quarterback in this draft. I definitely lean more Justin Fields than Zach Wilson, me personally, but that does not mean I have anything against Zach Wilson. I think that, I don't know, it's going to be a heavy debate for everybody. Who's the better quarterback? And that just makes me so sick. Like, I wish there was a stone cold number 2 quarterback. Like, if we had the first pick, it's like Trevor Lawrence is the guy. You know what I mean? Like, no worries. But now that we have the second pick, it's an argument. Who do we get? Either this guy or this guy. I just want the guy to be the franchise quarterback. I don't care who it is. That's another thing. I don't care who is, taking snaps for this team. Please be good. Please take us to the playoffs consistently. Take us to the Super Bowl. Make us a really good team. Oh, my God. I don't know. It's going to be tough. There's going to be people that say Justin Fields is overrated. There's going to be people saying Zach Wilson's overrated. There's going to be people say that. And we're all entitled to our own opinions. And I just hate that everybody's all over the place because whatever we do, that's another thing. Whatever we do at the quarterback spot, there's going to be a really large handful of people that are upset. That's the reality of it.
Yeah. That's just how it is, man. I mean, especially with a crazy, large, passionate fan base such as the Jets, that's just how it is. And, we're always stuck in QB purgatory. Here we are 3 years after we drafted the guy that we all thought was going to bring us to the promised land, wondering what we're going to do with the quarterback spot again. So, we just like I said earlier, we just take things personally as Jets fans because we've been used and abused for at least 23 years, but much longer than that for anybody that's been alive longer than I am.
You think Trevor Lawrence knows the difference between New York and the Jacksonville Jaguars now? I haven't heard a word about him since we lost the first overall pick. No one cares about the Jags. That's so true, Green Bean. Imagine if the Jets landed the first pick, like, oh my God, the Jets would be everywhere. We just hired Saleh, and the Jaguars hired Urban Meyer. Like, that's a big deal. I mean, that's a really big deal for the Jacksonville Jaguars, but no one talks or cares about them. They have the most cap space. They have the first pick. They have the most draft picks. Like, they have a really potential bright future, and nobody talks about them because they're in Jacksonville.
That's honestly such a good point, Green Bean. I didn't think about that until now, but you're so right. Like, I don't hear anything about Trevor Lawrence on ESPN anymore. I hear things about Deshaun Watson. I always hear Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin talking about the Jets. I always hear Mike Greenberg talking about the Jets. Rich Eisen's always talking Jets. Like, nobody's talking Trevor Lawrence to Jacksonville because nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. It's great.
It was good knowing you. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap up I can't even speak right now, guys. we are wrapping up the show right now. We are approaching 60 minutes. We like to cap it off at an hour. We appreciate everybody staying tuned and staying, supporting Jets media, supporting Monday Night Sports Talk. We really appreciate this and hope you guys are staying safe and especially staying warm during this crazy snowstorm. But that does it for this week's episode. We're going to dive deep into more of the Jets all season next week on Monday Night Sports Talk. We're also going to be going live sometime this week. And any Knicks fans out there, I'll be live during the Knicks-Bulls game at 8 o'clock. So go over to Knicks Media. Would greatly appreciate that. And also, if you guys want to do me a huge favor, I'm very close to hit 1,000 subscribers on my NFL YouTube channel, Touchdown Kingdom. That is linked down below in the description. If you guys are not subscribed to Touchdown Kingdom, please go down there, click the link in the description, and subscribe because I'm very close to 1,000. That would mean the world to me because I put a lot of time and effort into there. So that does it for this episode of Monday Night Sports Talk. Again, thank you guys so much. Jack Ali, always a pleasure for you guys joining in. And let's go Jets. And let's go Knicks. I'll catch you guys next week.
See you guys next week.
So much.
Peace out, Green Bean. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, later, Green Bean.